Hey, good morning, everybody. Okay. All right. So yesterday was quite the whip around day with all that news, up and down, which is okay. Everything's still in the trading range. Ranges are opening up. Let's see here. Gapping up a little bit. 0.5% on the S&Ps there. Um, so as we look around there are breaks of support like the S&Ps here. Other indices breaking down, other things still look fine. And yeah, we're gonna see how this shapes up. And maybe if this whip around settles down, we'll see what direction things truly take. But let's just see where things are at here this morning as we look around. So again, we've got an unfilled gap there. I want to see the day chart. It's gapping up a little bit. Let me see. Let's call it 690, give or take. So gapping up there into a minor resistance area. Let's see here and here. And with a larger congestion, of course, those overlapping bars up there. All right, so yesterday's low, I should say, is our first reference point of support on the daily time frame. And considering it's a relatively wide range bar, um, I would suspect that. Let's see if I can grab this. Easier just to get a new one. Copy. Give or take, prices are gapping up there. Probably going to jiggle around somewhere in here, right? Through this overlap here. And if it pulls back, there should be buyers. And so we're going to trade within this mess, within this trading range. Fine for day trading. We get some kind of extended moves to fade them one way or another. But expectations would be that it's probably not going to break below here, and it's unlikely it's going to make new all-time highs. So within this slop is likely where it's going to go. Let's see what's the trending here. It's holding on to the gain pre-market, meaning it is up there and it's just going sideways, and the economic news is already out. So that was a non-event. Just looking at the prices, GDP growth 4.4%. That didn't really move things up. All right, so there's our numbers for SPX. Prices are up here. The risk is more likely to be to the upside, considering yesterday's momentum. Average true range is expanding, so be aware of that as far as trading, whether it's the ES, of course, the minis, and leveraged ranges get wider. You need bigger stops. Whole numbers, it's gapping above 69. At one point, that was resistance a couple of months ago. Now getting back above it, it should be support. Like 69.50, somewhere back in here would be the normal movement today. All right, 6,900, 6,950, give or take, back and forth in there. Let's look at the NASDAQ. And a mess. Just a mess. Um, Yesterday's low. And so violating yesterday's low, which I suspect is not going to happen today, this level here, I would not expect it to hold. So unlikely it's going down there today. And this high up there is where there's going to be resistance. And so as I move my cursor up there, you can see up here, the white area is where the trading was during the trading day, and the blue area is the overnight. So essentially, as you can see, it's got, well, there's the congestion. It could run up to the top of the range there. The wide range bar down on that day is what created the topping tail bar. So considering down, sideways, back up, it should be able to get through that. And so far, the price action is bullish, meaning it's going sideways after a run up. So not any kind of a big move, but if you're inclined, it's that. I just look at the gap where it's gapping. Yeah, so I mean, gapping over yesterday's high, gapping up into this congestion area there. This does not look like a great opportunity. Russell made new all-time highs yesterday. So while the S&Ps, breaking below that major support area, extended, this is why you got to be real careful. Not careful, just, common sense. Don't short strong things that come out of, relatively tight moving averages, congestion areas. Intraday is fine, but as a swing, that's just not smart. So continuing to move up, new all-time highs, anticipation that it goes higher until it stops. At least closes below a prior day's low. And so it did that on one day and back up again. Let's look at Dow, coming into a mess. That being said, it's got some room to continue higher into there. Look at that without the blue area. It's like your normal chart. There's a gap there. There's an unfilled gap. There's the gap down. So, be aware of that. Not expecting too much here today as far as bigger moves. The volatility came way back down again. It's coming down into where it moved from. So, I mean, everything I'm looking at just leads me to think, trading range. And so Bitcoin broke down, is back to the bottom of the trading range. Wide range bar down, failed up move there. Could be just all news. I think we're going to have to look into, well, it's day by day, but into next week for some clarity on which way things might go here with a more meaningful move. There's Ethereum, the breakdown, bottom of the base. And silver's up again, but going sideways. So extended, but going sideways. More bullish price action. Gold looks like it's going higher. No break, dip. Buyers step back up again. 65-minute chart is just consolidating the gain. Bullish, extended from the 20. Nobody cares. And buyers at yesterday's low. See, still looks great. Oil is down a little bit there, about a little over 1%. Within a trading range, another one marking time. Interest rates. Let's look at the bonds. Bond prices. That, of course, says it's going lower. Interest rates are going higher. At one point, does the market not like that? So, breakdown and under the support, closed under the 200. Next support is down here. So what we want to look for as I said, at one point, does the market become uncomfortable with that? And I think at the point where it becomes comfortable, it's kind of too late. And if this does start pushing up into this area there, and the market could ignore it, I could say that's complacency. And then all of a sudden, then what we're going to be looking for next week, if the market should continue to go higher in the face of interest rates going up, or do our sentiment gauges reach a bearish extreme, which they're not there yet? There's the 30-year, come back down. So let's look at the 13-week. So, we've looked at this. We always look at this, of course, but, it's communicated to us, cutting, they're going to cut, they're going to cut. Oh, I'm not so sure. Now this is suggesting they're not going to cut. And the 13-week moving up, but market doesn't care. They figure the cut is coming sooner or later. And just looking around other things. This is a little bit of a problem. Financials breaking down as they have. However, retailing ETF looks great. Consolidating after a little move up. Software doesn't look so good. Actually looks pretty terrible. So we've got markets that look like they're going lower, which at certain times, market environment, that would be suggestive of be careful. This was a split, but this is broken down anyway. If your platform fixes that. Another one, but home builders, that's moving up very nicely. And semiconductors still the force within the market, the leading thing. So semiconductors continue to be strong. If this was to break down for whatever reason, that would be more of a concern, since this is the one showing relative strength. And healthcare. That looks like it's going higher. Well, it's in an upturn, right? It did get kind of whippy, but look at that bar there. That looks great. This is the equally weighted S&P. So you take the influence of the large caps away, and this communicates to us that there are things there. There's plenty of bottoming things, or stocks that are holding up relatively well. This is near a whole number, 200, a big one. So we'll see if it stalls there. I imagine it should be gapping up, since the S&Ps are gapping up a little bit. That should be gapping up to a new all-time high. And the equally weighted Qs is slopping around there. We'll see if that makes a new all-time high as well. And other than that, the expectation today bias is staying within a trading range, this big mess that's going on. And there's the S&P futures. So it's moving up toward the congestion area. So I'm not too enthusiastic about anything meaningful happening here, but hey, there's some 10 o'clock numbers. There's a core CPE. I think that could be a market mover. So be aware of 10 o'clock. That might have an influence on things. So, all yours, Dan.
That was, Trump gave us quite a whip aroma. But nothing we can do about it. Alarms first. Plab we bought yesterday. Gapping up here. Lost my pre-market. So right here we sold a third pre-market, but that's a beautiful pattern. So do you remember, Alex, when you said, "Oh, it's just a watch" yesterday? And I pounded on it and like, watch nothing. You got red bar, red bar, red bar, negated. And then it's breaking out above the 20 with this bull flag on the weekly. Oh, that looks great. FMC alarm just went off. This bottoming pattern we bought yesterday. Greg just said there's many bottoming patterns, and here's exhibit A. There's a lot of junk like this. And we'll trade anything with a good reward to risk. But totally different type of trade than trading something like Plaid or sectors that are at all-time highs. Google alarm, we did put spread on that yesterday, gapping up. So let's move our stop under this 15-minute base. We should have a nice open profit at the open. I'll be watching that. Maybe we'll close it at the open. If we're at 80% at least. SMCI alarm. We're watching this for another bottoming pattern, both directional and put spread. My up alarm went off. A bottoming pattern. Just totally different flavor. Like Alex mentioned fun. There's another one. Bottoming pattern. I'll put that back on the list. All right, what just happened here? All right, let's go to earnings now. Oh wait, two more. Default. Default. This is there are a lot of regional banks look nice. This is one of them. My alarm just went off on that. Looks great. Sides of 20 MA flatten, rising 50, closing breakout, bullish weekly, monthly. Looks great. Put that in the window. And then into it. In the software sector, there's a lot of Climos, and we just got to monitor the ones that are making a turn. Here's one that had a better turn. Breeze, so yeah, today's Thursday. Had the turn on Tuesday, didn't get very far, even with the market rally yesterday, which is relative weakness. What else set an alarm here at 24.65? Oh, let me give you all this big list of watch list items. I posted it on Telegram, but if you don't get it, there you go. And then into it, I got an alarm up here at 5:32. But another Climos and software getting killed. Now let's go to earnings. KMI. It's breakout all time frames, but we don't buy breakouts from the bottom to the top. And it's gapping up a little bit. Need a pullback. KNX. This would be a great 1, 2, 3, or even 30-minute high. I'll watch that. Ideally, we want an inside bar that chops around for 30, 60 minutes and then breaks out with the market. Let's get through those 10 a.m. numbers at least. Bank again, be a good 1, 2, 3 if we get it. Regional bank. That's where Debbie banks, I'm pretty sure. But look, there's so many. Oh, Folt already talked about. That's the alarm went off. Uh, this is another one, but I like Folt better. But it's still, if we get a 1, 2, 3, I like the daily weekly. E and F E RLI is gapping down. That's a day trade short, not swing because it's down so much and supports here, but day trade short. That could be a 10-minute low. That was a beautiful continuation breakout. You know, buyers ran it up into earnings and they're getting paid for holding it overnight. Khaki 650. This could be a gap and crap 1 DTE call spread. I would never do it for 8 DTE, but 30-minute low, 1 DTE. I didn't, obviously you got to go to your checklist. Are they liquid and what are you going to get paid? And what does the pattern look like? Another regional bank. I don't see any prints, but looks like all-time highs. Yeah, here, look at KRE. Now, Greg showed you XLF, but look at KRE. What a total difference of these two right now. Regionals. Lob, that would have been another 1, 2, 3. It would have gapping up $2. So messed it up. Banner, sloppier. Oh, I don't see any prints. We'll come back. That's up too much and gapping. Procter and Gamble was down. Now it's back to the high, maybe 30-minute high. GE was up pre-market, I saw. Now down, it's a mess. Abbott, I want to watch as a 1 DTE gap and snapper. Look, it's already down from 130. It's down $10. And now you're gapping down another $10. Now these are just 1 DTE trades, but look at the monthly. Weekly, I can't even see support without blowing it up. But yeah, this looks like now it's bearish pre-market, but on the gap and snappers, the bigger the gap, the better. So I like that it's selling off. So that's a tier 1 watch. Watch because we gotta pick our entry and then go through the checklist. IBAN would be another, well, the gap's too low. It's 1825. No, see, that's a bearish gap. So it's not a 1, 2, 3. Unless it comes roaring back, I'll leave it on and delete it at 10 a.m. if it doesn't bounce. The slab oil has been strong. As you see in that list, I have Halliburton on my list. That's had earnings yesterday. This would be a nice 1, 2, 3. I'll set an alarm at 33.55. Oh, Plab up alarm again at 33.50. Yeah, I already set an alarm there. Plab is good. $2,000 stock. It's bullish. Wow, another regional bank. First Citizens. It's a bullish chart, but I'm sure the spreads, particularly with 150,000 volume, the spreads are going to be pretty wide, so I'm not messing with it. It's a bullish weekly, Bob, but it's pullback from a square top, which I don't like. I got plenty of regional banks to watch, including this one, Webster. This one's at resistance, so that fault is superior But if we get a 1, 2, 3, it'll be fine. This is just miscellaneous stuff. Closing breakout. Did I talk about this one already? This looks fantastic. Now this one, I would prefer a 1, 2, 3, but if we don't get it, then I like that 30-minute high. I'm gonna put that in a window. FHN. These Basels, I did one of my Bitcoin friends I saw yesterday, and he told me to start watching Solana. And so I just Googled these two ETFs. So nothing to do now. You know, Ether's been weak. Nothing to do now, but I'm just gonna start watching them. There's two of them there, BSOL and GSOL, whichever one's more liquid. Let's see, that's 1 million. And this one's a tad more, so I'm gonna put this one BSOL. And Bitwise, they're big into that stuff. I just had an SGI alarm go off. That's another 30-minute high trade. See it gapping up right here near yesterday's high, but not over. Yeah, I already got that in the window on my other computer. Like Jable, that's a small little bull rectangle, but bullish. All time frames, daily, weekly, monthly. It's far from the 20, but it rested for 3 days. So it's okay. TMC, Alex, you gave me this one. I liked it a lot, but look at the gaps, excessive now. There's our Google we talked about. This MU, and no, that's still not ready. That's a power trend. One of these days, we're gonna do a call spread on this. I mean, look at SanDisk. This stock needs an award, just for a rip roaring rally from $42. Incredible. And his two cousins, WDC and STX. Those still not as extended. Amazon, Greg mentioned put spread yesterday. There was no juice, but I'll keep an eye on it for doing one for next week. Here's another bottoming pattern. I got an alarm at 20 spot 40. Adobe, Conda, Limo. Hey, it's gapping up. Adobe looks like a 30-minute high trade. I'm gonna set an alarm 296.50 and hope it doesn't trigger. I think I looked at puts and they were spreading. Spreads. Oh yeah, so I've had a little breakout failure, but we're fine. We don't manage them as tight. But here, this Adobe looks good. Here, I don't need docs. Let me put Adobe here. Adobe down there looks great. 5-minute high. I would do a put spread, but I'm sure it's spreading. Hey, that wifey I just mentioned, bottoming pattern alarm. Adobe 290s for tomorrow. 20 by 130. So that's the problem. But long, 5-minute high. Start with a day trade. Cuervo Gold. Yeah, we're short this. Or wait, are we? Or was that a watch? I think we're in it. Yeah, we shorted a 5 minute low. Yeah, see right here, a gap down. And I said short the 5 minute low, and look, that with that one little tail sucked us in. So just keep the stop. Which is 82 and I just stopped 82.62. Shoot. That's why we have stops. But when you have a crazy reversal in the market, the SMR alarm, it's not ready, but over yesterday's high is interesting. Let me set an alarm 20 spot 80. XRT alarm. Ah, there you go. New high. More than this in the ETF. It's wifey. Yeah, I got no interest right now. Look at the 15 trades, like late volume. All right, this Abbott, I said middle chart. Um, doesn't look as interesting as I thought it'd be a gap and snap. You know why? Because the gap is so big, it's scrunching this. So this doesn't look as extended as it did before. It gapped down. Let me check premium though anyway. See if there's anything at the guy's not even open yet. See, look, it's 9:34. Okay, he just opened. I just watched the spreads change. The $100 puts are 12 cents by 19. And the 105s are too tight and spready. All right, Adobe, I'm liking for a bounce. I had an alarm on GoDaddy, it's another Climo, but that's early. I'll reset the alarm to 106.40. Thing department, Meta has a nice 15-minute chart here. Moving on. Wow, that's a big gap in Meta. That's big. Gapping up over these 3 bars and plowing, and there's no setup for me, but it's bullish. All right, Google, we have the 320s. All right, Google, we're out at the target 10